This has to be one of the most wildest stories to come out in recent memory, especially for college football. This morning, UNLV's starting quarterback Matthew Sluka, if I get the last name right, has essentially quit the season. Basically, is going to sit out the rest of the season due to quote unfulfilled commitments. Sluka goes on to say that he was verbally offered $100,000 by an assistant coach to transfer from Holy Cross to UNLV, and the team has shown no effort to finalize the contract. Sluka has only received $3,000 out of only the $100,000 that he was, of course, promised. You look at the start they've been on so far, 3-0, have been impressive thus far. Coming off a good one against Kansas, and all of a sudden this happens. A few hours later, a backup running back from UNLV has also followed suit and has entered the transfer portal as well. Don't know if it's the same reasons as well. I would presume it would be. I don't know else why he would transfer unless he's backing up his teammate in this situation. But this is crazy. Again, he just transferred there. He's only 3 games in, and let's go to his stats real quick of what he's done thus far this season. In 3 games, he's gone 21 of 48, a 43.8 completion percentage. Absolutely horrible. 318 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. So the touchdown interception ratio is great. Completion percentage horrible, but they are 3-0, and they look pretty promising. Definitely a surprising team this year. Let's look a bit more at the CBS article. UNLV starting quarterback Matthew Sluka is stepping away from the Rebels program and will redshirt with intentions to enter the transfer portal. He announced late Tuesday on social media. Sluka attributed to the leave to a quote certain reparations that the school has made to him when he transferred to Holy Cross this offseason. Quote, I've decided to utilize my redshirt year and will not be playing in additional games this season. Sluka said, I'm committed to UNLV based on certain reparations that were made to me, which have not been upheld after I enrolled. Despite discussions, it became clear that these commitments would not be fulfilled in the future. I wish my teammates the best of luck this season. I hope they continue the continued success of the program. Again, this is absolutely wild to hear this. I mean, and this is something that if you are on the side of not liking NILs, I could say that right, and also college athletes getting paid, this is a big ammunition for you of saying this is why it shouldn't be in the amateur sport in college football because of situations like this. And this is a very tricky situation because this isn't the NFL, obviously. There is no contract that we can go to and saying UNLV signed you to essentially $100,000 contract for whatever it be, 1-2 years, whatever the length, the duration of him being at the college may be. It's not like the NFL. We can just, if teams sit out, we can see, well, hey, Jamar Chase is getting paid this much. Use that as an example for him trying to get a new contract. Hey, we know he's getting paid. This is what he's making. The problem is it's a verbal agreement, which it's not too much to really uphold. You constantly hear all the time. At least this morning on the radio, I've heard a lot of people say, basically a he said she said situation, and it's very tricky. It's very polarizing because this is bold. This is insane. It doesn't say Matthew Sluka is a phenomenal quarterback or anything like of that nature. He's going to be getting massive bids from other teams, because certainly this is going to be a turnoff from a good amount of teams if he wanted to go somewhere of this. Essentially, people calling him just quitting, that this is a horrible move. He shouldn't have done it. Whatever it may be, obviously using worser choice of words for him, but it's very tricky, and I definitely see both sides of it. If you look at it from his perspective, if he was absolutely guaranteed that if we want to believe him and he was truly told that, hey, we will pay you $100,000 to come to UNLV, and they have yet to do that and only paid $3,000 of it, and they have no intention of fulfilling that, he has every right to step away. And I don't think people should get mad because of that. In the era that we are now with NILs and paying college athletes, if you are going to use that as a tool to bring in athletes, do not be surprised if they leave because of that. If you're going to throw money at them and that's all you want, and that's the pitch that you can only give to players to come to your college, do not be surprised if that's the only thing that they care about. And I feel like in this situation, if you want to take it, if you want to be on Sluka's side and you believe what he's saying, UNLV should not be surprised at all if they came out and told him, yeah, we're not going to fulfill it. We're not going to pay you the $100,000. Do not be upset because you backed out of a deal that you made for him initially. And the thing that sucks too is that, if that's the case, that just it wrecks the season potentially. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know the back of quarterbacks and this QB situation in general. Don't really know too much about UNLV, to be honest. But no doubt, it's been working thus far in 3 games, and they look like a good team. Again, impressive win against Kansas in their last game, and the fact that this is no doubt going to derail their season. Not even just fact on the quarterback, but just the move, just like the thought of it, the move. It's a huge impact. It's just a shock to the team. So from his perspective, I have if it's true that he was promised that money and they backed out of it, they kind of stiffed him. I have no problem with him leaving and sticking up for himself in that case, because I think this should be a lesson to any team, any size program. If you're going to promise somebody something, you better keep it. And it just goes for anything in life, really. Now, if you look at the other perspective of that, and let's just say that, whatever you want to say, that they never made the promise to him, or that they were going to, and it's just not as fast as he wants it. Yes, again, it's a polar opposite. It is a horrible move. It's a horrible look to basically abandon your team because of that. Because I don't know if he was expecting to get it all up front, if it's gonna be split out. Essentially a contract. A certain portion of the money is essentially is a paycheck per week of the NFL. If that's what if that's what it was, I don't know what type of payment he wanted exactly. But if they were going to pay him out, and he just didn't like the timetable of it, or whatever it may be, or they never even promised him that. Again, it's a verbal commitment, it's a verbal contract, which there's very little weight to put on it on Sluka's perspective. Then yes, it is a horrible move by him, and a horrible, no doubt selfish to what I just said for the other part of it. It's gonna wreck the team. I would not be surprised if this wrecks the season because of this move. Not just because of him leaving, but just the impact, just the idea of that happening. It's a huge shock to the team. So it definitely is a very, no doubt. I mean, I shouldn't say it's no doubt a polarizing topic, and this is going to be, I think, a big stain on the new era that we're in with essentially buying players. This is not the amateur college football that people, including myself, grew up loving to watch because of how different it was from football. No doubt, it's a professional sport getting paid as opposed to amateurs where they're there just to play the game. If you want to be naive like that, I mean, no doubt, players have way in the past have been given money to go to teams. I mean, SMU, USC are in the years past controversial as well. We've seen players who've gotten suspended for getting paid for autographs and stuff like that. Johnny Manziel came out and said that he got paid as well in college. But it's, again, we're in a new era now, and the problem is there is no guidelines. It's all, people have said too, it's a Wild West. It's all out for themselves. There need to be a huge guidelines for this. And again, this is a bad look for college football. Either way, whether if Sluka's right or UNLV is right, either way, this is a horrible look for the sport. It's something that's I never would have thought happened because of that. Who knows if this is happening in bigger colleges as well. You look at UNLV, certainly not a huge Power 5 program, no doubt. So maybe if you want to look at the perspective, maybe they did kind of lie to try and get someone in there to boost the team, to boost the success. I mean, I don't really see this happening in, again, bigger programs like Alabama, Oregon, whatever you want it may be. This could be just a one-off, but again, it's a wild story that this came out this morning when I woke up to and seeing him leaving after 3 games. It's just the idea of that. It's crazy, but I think it is unfortunate for the sport, for the program, for himself, which side you want to take it. Again, it's very tough. I don't think there's I mean, as of right now, there is no 100% right for either side. I think we have to kind of see how things play out, and I don't know how much more evidence is going to come out, or more, truth is going to come out of the situation. Certainly I would hope for that to come as the days move on. But as of right now, I think we should take a step back and wait for more of the facts and more of the truth to come out before we decide to pick a side, before we kind of bash him for being a quitter and leaving, or bashing UNLV for the situation. I think I think we should wait to see what comes out. And again, it really comes down to what he said is the problem. Is it was a verbal agreement. It was a verbal contract. There is no, pen to paper. There is no, you can't go back and have proof. Unfortunately, it's a he said, she said. And maybe, unfortunately, it comes down to we may never truly know the answer of it. And unfortunately, you just have to just pick however you feel in that situation. If you feel like he was selfish for leaving, or if you think UNLV was, selfish for kind of taking back their word, I don't know. But it's a very, I worry it is a scary situation. I don't want to say this is, again, moving forward, that this is going to happen many more times. I hope this never happens again. But I think this really just shows you basically no rules out there, no guidelines, no nothing for this new era of NILs and paying athletes. I think certainly I've always been an advocate of players getting paid for their play, seeing how much the money that schools have made off of them, the billions of dollars. And I get that maybe it is a small portion of schools in the entirety of the NCAA, but I do believe athletes deserve to get paid their worth. I don't want to go as far as say how it is now, millions of dollars, but I do think they should get paid enough to, obviously, enough of their worth. But I would say that at times, and certainly in this case and many others, that it has gone over the top with, again, quarterbacks getting paid millions of dollars, or college athletes getting paid millions of dollars to go somewhere. I mean, you look at a big one was Oregon, basically just buying up players. I mean, is it just suspicious they all of a sudden they're landing all these top players in every position, 5-star recruits? And again, not to be naive, it has happened before. I mean, let's not act like players haven't been paid in the past, but this is, now it's legal. Now it's brought to light, and it's well known now. So again, it's tough. I know people don't like it. I've seen many people on the radio who are very passionate about college football that are turned off now because of this new era that we're in with paying professional athletes, saying it's way too much. They're amateurs. They shouldn't get paid. I do believe they should get paid, but I think we've gone from one polar opposite of athletes not being able to make a dime to now athletes getting paid too much. And I do blame the NCAA for this, for not trying to ease this in better and make a better transition. I think, again, we just gone from black to white very, very fast. And then, it's unfortunate that there was no guidelines and really no better structure put in place to transition into this in this part. And again, unfortunately, this is one instance of hopefully not others, but maybe potentially in many to come with Sluka and the NIL money.